Cheating Death Podcast is a comedy, random information, truth-seeking podcast containing information, subject matter, language, and course material that may not be suitable for all listeners. Your discretion in this matter is advised. On today's episode of the Cheating Death Podcast, we discuss the Fermi Paradox. Are we alone, or are there entities watching us from afar? Or are they on our own planet watching us as we speak? We also provide you with an all-new Annihilation Announcement, a new joke of the episode, and much, much more. So by now, dear listener, you know what to do. Grab a coffee, put your feet up on your table, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. This news anchor is not feeling well, so please bear with his voice. But understand this, dear listeners, the Fermi Paradox is not merely a question, but is an exploration into the world itself. The idea that we on this planet are isolated, in this podcast's opinion, is asinine. We are not the only functional, communicative organisms that dwell within this universe. Von Neumann probes dwell in and all around areas to which we are incapable of viewing with infrared technology or regular satellite technology or telescope technology. Understand this. The observation and the identification of the human species is that we must proceed, we must move forward, we must stop war, and we must continue to unify as a species, otherwise we are doomed to remain on this planet forever. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this has been your Annihilation Announcement.
Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag und eine gute Nacht. Ist deine Reisende und deine Ausländer, deine Schauspieler, deine Vernichter, deine Allesfresser, deine Cleric of Chaos. And on today's episode, we are going to dive into the Fermi Paradox, a long-awaited episode. According to commenters and fans across the universe, those in Alpha Centauri have been waiting for me to acknowledge their presence for eons now. However, be that as it may, I must issue a formal apology, as my body and my mind are both still incredibly frail. My neck, my back, my shoulders, my hips, everything is just completely deteriorating, for lack of a better term, and we are biding time until our first of 5 surgeries arrives. That said, if you would like to dive on in with us, then let us explore this universe of ours. The Fermi Paradox, purported by Fermi, make no mistake about it, is a robust and a constructive ideology that posits that we are not alone in the universe, or equally posits that we are. Note this, dear listener, is that the Fermi Paradox, to be succinct, questions one of 2 answers. We are either alone or we are not. Both are equally as terrifying. Let us take into consideration if we are alone in the universe. That must mean that we are either the first or the final organisms in whom are going to traverse the realms before the end of the universe. That we somehow won the universal and the galactic lottery in order to make sure our species has reached this point to which we are currently at. The understanding and the ideology of the notions of the Fermi Paradox are not lost on those in whom have looked into aliens before. Absolutely not. We must understand that this ideology that we are or are not alone goes back centuries, millennia, and now that we actually have an idea as to how we may be able to approach it, it is equally parts terrifying. Now, we touched on whether or not the case is true that we are alone, that it is terrifying, that we are either the first or the last, and that the great filter is either before us or it is after us. The great filter being that one thing that organisms, species, civilizations do not pass, but if they do, then it is only a matter of time before they fall or rise. Now let us take a look into the possibility that we are not alone, and it is in this podcast's opinion, as well as the host's opinion, as well as deep-rooted foundational belief and witnessing, that we are not alone. There are entities in whom observe our very existence each and every single day. All of our activities, each and every single one of our subtle nuances are being observed in a zoo-like state. Now, the Fermi Paradox, positing that we are not alone, does not necessarily reduce or limit itself to one particular ideology. We have the dark forest theory, which posits that the universe is not empty, but that civilizations and species are in hiding. Because once you reveal yourself, you become a threat to any galactic, universal, technologically capable civilization or species in whom may want your resources. Yes, it is a veritable no man's sky of possibilities when you take into consideration all of the different opportunities, all of the different ways that there could be aliens and extraterrestrials around us. Take into consideration all that we have witnessed and observed with electromagnetic technology as well as infrared technology. A lot of what we have witnessed and observed, especially with black holes and how they behave, it seems as if the very notion that energy harnessing is not new to civilizations and or species out there, that sometimes stars die faster than what they are supposed to, that sometimes there are completely irrational things that happen in space that cannot be deduced by science or reason. It is within these times that we understand that not only are we not alone, but the information that we are being fed is obviously being filtered substantially. David Icke, former footballer and crazy media sensation, has constantly stated emphatically that reptilians walk among us, and while I am not at that point, I will state emphatically that there is no doubt that aliens do exist. There is no doubt that we are not alone. But as for the Fermi Paradox itself, you, dear listener, ultimately must decide for yourself which makes the most sense for you. And at the end of the day, if you feel that we are alone, then you must deal with that. However, if you feel that we are not, then we must go on an adventure, and we must seek out the von Neumann probes, which seek to analyze each and every single second of our lives. For the Earth is a pale blue sphere filled with fear. We, as the winning the galactic lottery of being born here, must do what we can to fight within the realms of our current capability. Are we alone? Are we not alone? That is for you to ponder. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other.
At the top of the program, we promised you a top 5 list of alien video game references, so let's dive right in. Coming in at number 5, we have GTA 3. Coming in at number 4, we have GTA 5. Coming in at number 3, we of course have Dark Space. Coming in at number 2, Mass Effect. And coming in at number 1, the Fallout series. What is your favorite alien video game reference? Let us know at the geniedeathpodcast@gmail.com. Today's joke has been brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. You'd better be careful what you say around egg whites. They can't handle a yolk. We take into consideration the amount of time, effort, energy, and multiple expenses in which it is taken to research the Fermi Paradox and conclusively determine whether or not we are or are not alone. However, we are also firmly aware that within that research, there is a lot of redacted information, a lot of classified data. It is the opinion of the podcast, as well as the host himself, that we are not alone. We never have been alone, and we never will be alone. I experienced things in my 2 near-death experiences that confirm, at least for me, that this universe is vast, expansive, and that there are people watching. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. The Genie Death Podcast is brought to you by Nacht and Leben, CRDVC, Chaos Arm Records, and CR Deutschland. If you'd like to follow us, you can do so at twitter.com/WeAllCheatDeath and twitter.com/Cleric Chaos. If you'd like to support the program, you may do so at the links in the episode description at linktr.ee/Cleric Chaos with a one-time gift, support the GoFundMe, or book a meeting for your upcoming artistic or business plan. Please support our friends at the pinned profile post over at twitter.com/WeAllCheatDeath. And if you are seeking psychiatric assistance, please call 1-800-273-8255. And if you are looking to seek help for domestic violence, please call 1-800-799-7233. If you're looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center. And remember, you, dear listener, are one in a billion, and a billion more. Fight with everything you can. Thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, at the end of the day, we're all fighting for the same cause: security. Remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.